to need a will, just a family, or a cat plotting world domination. Welcome to Celebrity Estate Chaos, where we prove a lot of things, like how estate chaos isn't just for millionaires with private islands, anyone with stuff, relatives, or that one weird collection you think nobody's fighting over. And chances are, they will.
Okay, let's unpack this. When you hear the name Pablo Picasso, what immediately springs to mind? For most of us, it's, a whirlwind of bold colors, those iconic fractured faces, the sheer audacity of Cubism. He was, without question, the quintessential genius of the 20th century, a prolific master who fundamentally redefined what art could be. But here's the profound paradox at the heart of our deep dive today. For all his groundbreaking artistic brilliance, Picasso was, by every account, an absolute catastrophe at something far more mundane yet deeply crucial: estate planning. When he passed away in 1973, his family didn't inherit clarity. They inherited a legal and emotional maelstrom of chaos.
It's a stark reminder, isn't it, that even the most extraordinary minds, the ones capable of reshaping entire artistic movements, can overlook the most mundane yet critical aspects of life. Picasso's story offers a compelling, almost tragic mirror to our own universal struggles with difficult conversations and, well, crucial paperwork. It really illuminates how a lack of foresight in one area can kind of eclipse a lifetime of genius in another.
Absolutely. So, our mission today is to extract the most important nuggets of knowledge from a stack of sources, articles, extensive research, and our own expert notes to fully understand what went so spectacularly wrong in Picasso's case. We'll examine why these same painful mistakes continue to plague families today, and most importantly, how you can proactively avoid this specific kind of chaos, ensuring your legacy is one of peace, not probate. Before we delve deeper into the legal complexities, let's look at the man himself. What's truly fascinating and quite frankly astonishing about Picasso's story begins right at birth. He wasn't just talented, he was a prodigy, plain and simple from the very start, wasn't he?
Indeed. Pablo Picasso was born in Malaga, Spain in 1881, and the legends surrounding his childhood are almost cinematic. Family lore claims his very first word wasn't mama or papa, but piz, short for lápiz, the Spanish word for pencil. While other toddlers were probably still, exploring the taste of their crayons, Pablo was apparently already sketching doves with remarkable precision. By the tender age of 9, he painted a bullfight scene titled Le Picador that was so astonishingly good people genuinely thought a grown man had done it.
Imagine that, a 9-year-old producing work that could pass for an adult master. It's almost unbelievable. And he didn't just meet expectations, he shattered them.
He quickly surpassed his own father, José Ruiz Blasco, who was an art professor himself by the age of 13. There's a poignant story that his father, recognizing the sheer magnitude of his son's superior talent, actually gave up painting professionally, believing Pablo had already achieved what he could only aspire to. That kind of early, undeniable genius set him on a trajectory destined for greatness.
Can you imagine being so undeniably gifted that your own art professor father steps aside? But it wasn't all immediate fame and fortune, was it? His early years in Paris, around the turn of the century, were marked by serious struggle.
Oh, far from it. Picasso's arrival in Paris in the early 1900s plunged him into a period of extreme hardship. He lived in freezing, drafty apartments, often so cold he resorted to burning his own canvases and drawings just for heat. This period of destitution and melancholy is what we now call his blue period. His somber, almost monochromatic works, often depicting the poor, the lonely, and the outcast in shades of blue and green, were a direct reflection of his own suffering. He wasn't choosing blue because it was fashionable. He was painting it because he was cold, broke, and intimately familiar with human sorrow.
It almost makes you want to send him a space heater through time, doesn't it? The sheer willpower and dedication to create masterpieces under those conditions is truly astonishing. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, those very same blue period paintings born from his early struggles and, used as firewood now sell for over $100 million each. That's a powerful statement about resilience and the enduring value of true art.
Absolutely. It's a stark indicator of the immense, almost incomprehensible value that would eventually accumulate around his work. As his fortunes began to shift, so too did the very palette of his life.
Indeed. From the somber blues of poverty, Picasso transitioned into the brighter hues of his rose period, a visual diary, perhaps, of a man finally able to afford not just warmth, but a touch of joy, featuring circus performers and happier themes. And from that period of blossoming sprang something truly revolutionary.
Yes, then came Cubism. Collaborating with the Georges Braque, Picasso didn't just evolve. He detonated artistic traditions. They fractured reality, reassembled perspectives, and completely reshaped modern art as we know it. It was a seismic shift that continues to influence art to this day.
And his output throughout this revolutionary career was simply staggering. It spanned an incredible 78 years,
78 years.
producing an estimated 45,000 to 50,000 works of art across every medium imaginable: paintings, sculptures, drawings, ceramics, thousands of prints. He wasn't just creating art, he was meticulously building an empire of property, a vast personal art collection, and substantial cash reserves. So as Picasso was painting his public masterpieces, what kind of portrait was he sketching of his own family life? Well, if his art was complex, his personal life, it turns out, was a veritable cubist masterpiece of fragmentation.
A very apt metaphor. Picasso had a notoriously complex personal life. He had 2 wives, multiple long-term mistresses, and fathered 4 children by 3 different women: Paulo, Maya, Claude, and Paloma. His family tree looked less like a tidy oak and more like one of his abstract line drawings, with faces overlapping and perspectives clashing, often in stark opposition.
The sources consistently highlight a challenging dynamic. While he was incredibly generous with his artistic genius, he was often described as distant, self-absorbed, and even manipulative in his personal relationships, especially towards his children. Françoise Gillot, the mother of Claude and Paloma, once famously described him as emotionally destructive. This paints a picture of intense passion and undeniable artistic genius, but also deep, perhaps even tragic, personal flaws.
It really does. And this brings us to the central shocker. Despite this incredibly intricate family dynamic and his immense wealth, Picasso never once sat down with him to explain how his estate would work when he was gone. It feels almost incomprehensible, doesn't it?
It truly does. It begs the question: how could a mind so meticulously capable of reinventing art itself somehow overlook picking up a simple pen to dictate his legacy? Was it a conscious act, a profound oversight, or perhaps a blind spot inherent in his own genius? The man who meticulously reinvented art itself somehow forgot to write down who gets what when he died. He passed away at age 91 in 1973, leaving behind an estimated fortune of $500 million in 1973 dollars, which, let's be clear, adjusted for inflation and the sheer value of his artwork today, would easily be worth many, many billions. And yet, not a single will, not a scrap of an estate plan was to be found. The consequences of this oversight were devastating, stretching far beyond mere financial inconvenience. The immediate aftermath was an all-out, protracted family court battle. Who was involved? His 2 wives, his 4 children, his mistresses, and even his grandchildren, all vying for a share of this enormous, undefined pie. This wasn't a quick legal skirmish. It lasted for 6 grueling years. 6 years of their lives consumed by legal wrangling.
6 years, imagine that. 6 years of intense court proceedings, bitter family arguments, and legal fees that piled up to an astonishing sum: over $30 million. Consider the sheer volume of assets involved: 1,885 paintings, 1,228 sculptures, 7,089 drawings, 30,000 prints, 3,222 ceramic works, 5 houses across France, not to mention millions in cash, gold, and bonds. Without a will, French law dictated a complex, often ambiguous division of assets, which fueled intense arguments and resentment among the various claimants. And of course, the French government stepped in, claiming a massive share in inheritance taxes from this undefined fortune.
It was an unimaginable nightmare. The sources paint a grim picture, stating it created irreparable fractures in his family, leaving them with scars that never healed and forcing them to drown in confusion. Instead of inheriting his love, his artistic legacy, and a clear path forward, they inherited a brutal legal battle that tore them apart emotionally and financially. And what's truly sobering is that Picasso was far from alone in this oversight.
What's particularly striking is how common this scenario is, even today, decades after Picasso's death. Statistics show that a surprising 67% of Americans still have no estate plan at all. And it's not just everyday people. Many high-profile figures, individuals who managed enormous careers and fortunes, have made the exact same mistake. We're talking about legends like Aretha Franklin, Prince, Abraham Lincoln, Chadwick Boseman, even the eccentric billionaire Howard Hughes. These unintended oversights lead to families losing billions each year in probate battles that often lengthy public legal process of validating a will and distributing assets, not to mention forgotten accounts, assets lost to time, and unnecessary taxes that could have been avoided with civil planning.
It's astonishing, isn't it? People who are brilliant, highly accomplished in their respective fields, capable of managing incredible businesses or careers, often freeze up when it comes to the relatively simple act of planning their estate. It truly makes you wonder why this widespread avoidance of something so critical. So why this pervasive silence? Why did Picasso and so many others across generations stay silent on this crucial topic? Part of it is certainly generational. Picasso's generation, and many from the 1920s through the 1950s, often viewed end of life discussions as deeply taboo. Death was whispered about, shrouded in superstition, not discussed openly or practically. There was this common belief, prevalent in many cultures of that era and certainly in Picasso's background, that talking about death was somehow inviting bad luck or even hastening its arrival. It was a taboo, whispered about, not openly discussed, often out of superstition.
It's truly striking how an unspoken cultural norm can have such tangible, devastating financial and emotional consequences. This avoidance mindset, as we can call it, is fueled by a cocktail of discomfort, denial, and even ego. Let's be honest, who wants to imagine life going on without them? The thought of our own mortality can be deeply unsettling, but this psychological hurdle, this reluctance to face the inevitable, created lasting chaos for families like Picasso's. That secrecy, or simply the discomfort, often meant people hid financial information, didn't share important details, and ultimately left their loved ones scrambling and heartbroken. The administrative burden alone can crush grieving families.
And if Picasso's estate was complicated with vast collections of physical paintings and properties, the problem is even more convoluted and perilous in today's digital world. We now have an entirely new category of assets that are harder than ever to manage without clear, explicit instructions. Think about it. NFTs, crypto wallets, digital art, online businesses, social media accounts, intellectual property stored in the cloud.
Absolutely. The risk of loss is immense and growing exponentially. It's estimated that a staggering 20% of all Bitcoin is permanently lost forever.
20%.
Much of it because the owners died without clear instructions for their private keys, or even access to these specific crypto exchanges or digital wallets. Families inherit laptops, sure, but without the correct seed phrases, encryption keys, or multi-factor authentication access, those digital fortunes simply vanish into the ether, untraceable and unrecoverable. It's not just about money. It's also about digital photographs, online businesses, even beloved social media accounts that hold years of memories.
Exactly. If Picasso's heirs had a 6-year nightmare battling over physical paintings and sculptures, imagine today's estates where heirs might not even know what digital assets exist, let alone where the critical keys or passwords are stored. It's a whole new frontier of estate planning negligence, one that's leaving vast amounts of wealth and digital legacy lost forever. So, what does this all mean for you? Picasso's tragic mistakes provide a clear, if painful, blueprint for what not to do. How can we, as modern individuals, do better and ensure our legacy is one of peace and clarity?
The first, and arguably most crucial step, is to start early. Estate planning isn't just for the elderly or those with vast fortunes like Picasso. If you own anything of value, a car, a small business, digital assets, a family heirloom, even a cherished pet, you should begin planning now. Picasso was creating masterpieces in his teens. You absolutely don't need to wait until your 70s or 80s to plan for your legacy. The sooner you start, the less daunting it feels and the more control you have.
And a crucial follow-up to that, which can feel overwhelming but is essential: inventory everything. Create a comprehensive, living list of all your assets. This means your obvious physical assets like property, vehicles, and heirlooms, but critically, also your digital assets. Think crypto wallets, NFTs, online bank accounts, investment platforms, domain names, even important social media accounts or online businesses. If your family doesn't know these things exist or how to access them securely, they simply can't inherit them. Consider a secure password manager for all your digital logins and ensure trusted individuals have access to that manager with clear instructions.
Next, and this is often the hardest part, pushing past those taboos we discussed, have the talk. Yes, it's undeniably uncomfortable. It forces us to confront our own mortality, something most of us instinctively shy away from. But think of it this way. That discomfort is fleeting, while the chaos of not having the talk can last for decades, shattering family relationships. We often hear stories of families who started with humor, perhaps a playful, "I want to be buried with my remote control," or a more direct, "If I get hit by a bus tomorrow, who knows where my crypto keys are?" Even starting small with a simple question like, "Do you know where important papers are kept just in case?" can open the door to profoundly important conversations, slowly chipping away at that taboo.
It certainly can. And don't hesitate to bring in a third party, a professional. A qualified estate planning attorney or a reputable financial planner isn't just there to draft documents. They're impartial navigators through complex financial landscapes and often tricky family dynamics. They can help mediate, explain legal intricacies like what probate truly entails, and ensure your wishes are legally sound and effectively communicated. Knowing what questions to ask them or what documents to gather before your first meeting can save you significant time and money, making the entire process much smoother and less intimidating.
Also, remember to focus on legacy, not just money. While financial assets are undeniably important, estate planning is also deeply about memories, traditions, and the intangible stories that connect your family. Sometimes arguments over a cherished family photo album or grandma's teapot can cause more fights and heartache than disputes over a bank account. Think about that special family recipe, a collection of letters, or a piece of furniture with sentimental value. Clearly designating these non-monetary items can be incredibly potent in preventing future conflict and preserving your unique family narrative.
And this cannot be stressed enough. Put it in writing. Conversations are good, but legal documents are absolutely essential. Picasso may have mastered brushstrokes and revolutionized art, but his pen failed him when it came to his will. Verbal promises, no matter how heartfelt, simply don't hold up in probate court. Clear, legally sound documents like wills, trusts, and powers of attorney are the only way to ensure your wishes are honored, your assets are distributed as you intend, and your family is protected from unnecessary legal battles.
Finally, and this is crucial in our rapidly changing world, update regularly. Life is dynamic. You might get married, divorced, have more children, acquire new assets, or see technology evolve at lightning speed. An old, outdated plan can cause more harm than good if it doesn't reflect your current circumstances, assets, and wishes. Think of it as regularly dusting off a valuable painting. You wouldn't let it gather years of grime, so don't let your estate plan grow stale. A good rule of thumb is to review it every 3 to 5 years, or whenever a major life event occurs.
Think of your family like a massive, complex group project in school. If no one writes down the plan, everyone assumes someone else did it, or that it'll just magically come together. Then the night before it's due, utter chaos erupts as everyone scrambles. Estate planning is precisely the same. Except instead of failing grades, you get probate court, exorbitant legal fees, and Thanksgiving feuds that can last for years, leaving deep, lasting scars on those you love most. Pablo Picasso gave the world extraordinary beauty, brilliance, and a redefined vision of art. Yet, tragically, he left his loved ones a legal nightmare of monumental proportions. His refusal to have the estate conversation, his inability to put his wishes in writing, cost his family years of immense pain, millions in legal fees, and endless tension. It truly was a personal tragedy playing out in slow motion, overshadowing his incredible artistic legacy.
The real masterpiece isn't just what you create in life. It's the piece you leave behind when you're gone. Your family deserves to inherit your love, your memories, and the security of a well-ordered future, not your legal battles. Planning for your legacy is how you proactively ensure that clarity, that security, and that profound peace for the people who matter most. It's the ultimate act of love and responsibility.
So don't be a Picasso when it comes to planning your legacy. Paint your masterpieces, yes, embrace your genius, but also take that crucial step. Write that will, organize your physical and digital assets, and have that vital conversation with your loved ones. If you're looking for more guidance and actionable steps, we highly recommend checking out author Tina Jin's estate planning books over in her bookstore. You'll find the links conveniently placed in the description below. And for more insightful deep dives into various topics that impact your life, be sure to check out our channels on Spotify and YouTube. We'll see you at the next one.
That's a wrap for today's chaos. If you learned something, laughed a little, or now feel slightly more prepared for life's curveballs, we've done our job. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel and follow us on social media. Catch us on Spotify, YouTube, and anywhere podcasts make you rethink your to-do list. Thanks for tuning in. And remember, if it's important and unexpected, we probably cover it. Stay safe, stay curious, and we'll see you next time.